Yeah, children, now we have seen the digestion. Okay, the process of breakdown of complex food molecules into the simple ones with the help of teeth, tongue, and saliva. This process is called digestion. This process is called digestion. Right. Now the bolus. Okay, what is bolus? The slurry mass which is obtained after crushing the food with the help of teeth is called bolus. The tongue helps in, then what is the use of tongue? So we have seen the function of teeth, salivary glands, teeth, salivary glands. Next one is tongue. Next one is tongue. So what is the function of the tongue? So here see, the tongue helps in mixing the food. The tongue helps in mixing. See children, when you will eat biscuit, okay, the biscuit will goes and will stick to the jaws. Okay, then what you will do? With the help of the tongue, you will prick it out. Okay, so here the tongue helps in mixing the food and sends to the next part. So this is the next one is lower jaw. Next one is lower jaw also helps in the process. So here the sending, mixing. Okay, mixing and sending the bolus to the next part is done by tongue and lower jaw. So we can find out the effect of salivary amylase on carbohydrate and observe what might be happening in the mouth. So to know the chemical nature of the saliva, okay, we are going to perform an activity, that is activity 7 of 7th chapter. Okay, so that is in the 7th chapter we are going to learn. So about this saliva and the amylase. Now the soft food. Now the soft food is mixed with saliva, passes through esophagus. So this is esophagus, children. So see, this is esophagus. Okay. So here the soft food. Okay. This is soft food. Here see, this is soft food, passes through esophagus. Passes through esophagus. Right. And this esophagus is a pipe-like structure. This esophagus is a pipe-like structure and there will be some wave-like movements. There will be some wave-like movements. These movements are called as wave-like movements, and I told you already these movements are called as peristatic movements. These movements are called as peristatic movements. The wave-like movements are called as peristatic movement. So after crushing the food in the mouth and making a slurry mass which is called bolus, and slowly we will ingest that, we will take that, we will send that into the next part which is called as esophagus. Here in the esophagus what happens? Let us see. So here the food, the soft food mixed with the saliva passes through the esophagus, and this is a wave-like structure. So wave-like movements will be there. Those movements are called peristatic movements. Next one, this esophagus, and due to this peristatic movements, okay, due to this peristatic movement, the food is sent to the next part. The food is sent to the next part. This part is called as stomach. This part is called as stomach. Already you have seen the digestive system. This part is called as the stomach. So peristatic movements, contraction and relaxation, contraction and relaxation. Now you can see here, see, so this is a esophagus, okay, this is the esophagus. Now you can see this is the thing, okay, again it is becoming narrower. So this is a food particle, right? So that is a peristatic wave, and this food particle will goes down, okay, this food particle will goes down. This food particle will goes down here. Okay, see this wave comes here. This wave comes here. Like that, the food will be passing. So by contraction and relaxation, of these muscles, okay, both longitudinal and circular muscles, two muscles are present. Okay, the contraction and relaxation of this muscle. That means, so like this, the wave-like movements will be there. Okay, so these wave-like movements pushes the food particles into the stomach, okay, right. So food is in the form of, a soft slimy. So here you know that in the mouth the bolus is there. The bolus passes into the esophagus. From the esophagus, next part is stomach. At the stomach, food gets churned with gastric juice. In the mouth, one juice we came across, that is saliva. So saliva helps in making the food wet, one thing, and also one enzyme, that is salivary amylase. Next part is esophagus. No digestion in esophagus, simply sending the food down. Okay, sending the food down. And next down is the stomach. In the stomach, the food in the stomach, what happens here? Food gets churned churned with gastric juice and gastric enzymes, gastric juice and HCl also. HCl is hydrochloric acid. Okay, the medium is acidic, renders the medium acidic. So here mainly in the stomach, two things children, gastric juice and HCl. HCl makes the medium acidic. So gastric juice is there. So the food gets churned in the stomach with the help of the enzymes once again. So in the gastric juice, the enzymes will be present and HCl also will be releasing, which makes the medium acidic. Now the food is in semi-solid condition. So now the food is in semi-solid condition and the food, okay. So the digestion of the food goes on as most of the proteins are broken down into simple molecules with the help of enzyme. Simply I will tell, protein digestion takes place in the stomach. Carbohydrate digestion takes place in the mouth. So far, okay. So carbohydrate digestion is starch. Breaks into the simple ones, okay, like maltose, simple, complex carbohydrate broken into the simple ones. Starch is broken down to maltose and, okay, dextrins. That takes place with the help of enzyme. First enzyme, salivary amylase. In the stomach also, the enzymes will be there, protein digestion enzymes. Like a pepsin, okay. Now let's see, anyway we will learn in the enzyme chart. So food is in the form of a soft slimy substance, some proteins and carbohydrates. Not only here see children, even carbohydrates, some proteins and carbohydrates have already broken down. Yes or no? So already the carbohydrates are broken down in the mouth and the proteins are broken down in the stomach. Now the food is churned or converted into soft slimy substance, which is called chyme, okay, which is called chyme. What is bolus? Bolus is a soft, okay, it is a slurry mass or lump-like particles, lump-like substance which is formed in the mouth, whereas chyme is chyme is also a form of slurry slimy substance. Okay, form of slurry slimy substance. Already some proteins and carbohydrates are broken down. Okay, whereas in the bolus only, okay, bolus is a slurry mass like substance. It is a slurry soft slimy substance. That simply I will tell. 25% of the digestion which occurs in the mouth, the food is formed, which is called bolus. And again 25%, okay, that is 50% completion in is called chyme. Okay, there we have churned or converted the solid food into the slurry lump-like substance, substance which is called as the bolus. Here 50% digestion, that means already carbohydrates and proteins are broken down. Okay, it is a soft slimy substance which is called as chyme. Now the food passes from stomach into the next part is small intestine. Now let us see the digestion in small intestine. Okay, children, so now the food is in the small intestine. So food from, once again tell, mouth enters into the pharynx, from pharynx the food goes into the esophagus. So from mouth to pharynx, from pharynx to esophagus, and esophagus to, what is the next part? Stomach, and stomach to next one is small intestine. What is this children? Small intestine. There are two types of intestine, a large intestine and small intestine. right? Digestion mainly takes place, the absorption, all these things takes place in small intestine only. A large intestine is mainly for defecation and reabsorption of water, right? So here, now the food passes from stomach to the small intestine. Here the ring-like structure. For example, if you see children, imagine this is, okay, imagine this is the stomach, okay. From the stomach, the food passes into the small intestine, okay. The food passes into the small intestine. Small intestine is a long one, children. The large intestine will be present surrounding this like this. This is the large intestine. Okay, right. So here, this is stomach. Now here see the food. So the stomach, this is the esophagus anyway. And here mouth. Okay, right. So from the mouth, esophagus to the stomach. Now this food should enter into the small intestine. The first part, the proximal part of the small intestine is called duodenum. What is this, children? Duodenum. So this is the first part. Here a ring-like structure. Okay. Here what is present? So for example, here see this is the duodenum. This is duodenum and this is the stomach. This is the stomach. Okay, this is stomach, this is duodenum, I am writing with the duodenum, and this is stomach. See, so much, stomach is a elastic bag-like structure. Stomach is a elastic bag-like structure where the food is temporarily stored, temporarily for nearly 3 to 4 hours. That means, why that much time the food will be there in the stomach means, see, stomach is a bag-like structure. Here, see, so much food will be there. But intestine is small tube, children. So imagine if you will here, see, this is a bottle. Okay. So the volume of the bottle is very much, nearly 1 liter. Yes or no? So if you will pour this into a small refill, okay, what will happen, children? The refill in the pen, you will be having a refill, no? Okay, so that is very small tube like small intestine, and this is somewhat large. This is somewhat large like stomach. Okay, if you pour directly into that, so much water will be wasted, and the refill can't be refilled. So here also, if all the food comes once a time into the duodenum, and automatically the duodenum is nothing but intestine. Can't bear that pressure, and our digestive system will be collapsed. That is why only small quantities of food should be entered. Only small quantities of food. Then who will take care of this? Yes, a small ring-like one, which is called as pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter. Okay. This pyloric sphincter allows only small quantities of food into the duodenum, and when the duodenum again emptied, again it allows small quantities of food from stomach to the intestine. Thus, our stomach will be emptied slowly. Understand? Duodenum is the first part of the intestine. So that is a function of pyloric sphincter. These sphincters are responsible for regulating the opening. So whenever the duodenum is empty, the sphincter will be opened so that the food will come. Whenever it is full, the sphincter will be closed so that the food retains in the stomach only. Right. The small intestine is the longest part. See, children, there is the difference. The largest is different from longest. Longest is the length. So longest, small intestine, see, this is the small intestine. This is the large intestine. The small intestine length is more. Why it is called small means you can see the width. Here large intestine width is broad. This is broad. whereas small intestine is very narrow. That is why it is called large, it is called small. But if you see the length, small intestine length is more. The longest part of the alimentary canal and the proximal part is called duodenum. It is a site of further digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So we have seen the digestion of carbohydrates in the mouth and proteins in the stomach. Again now it is the duodenum, okay, that's proximal part of the small intestine, and this here you can observe small intestine also so many carbohydrates, proteins and fats digestion takes place, and it receives the secretions of the liver and pancreas for this purpose. These juices render the internal condition of the intestine gradually to a basic or alkaline one. So here what happens? Anyway, you can see here, you can see the liver here, okay, and again you have seen the pancreas here, okay, right. So from the pancreas and from the liver also, okay, so this is duodenum, no? So here it will explain. Here see, from the liver, the juice will come which is called bile juice, and from the pancreas, the juice will come which is called pancreatic juice. Both the juices will enter into the duodenum, and anyway in the small intestine again one more juice will come, intestinal juice. All these makes the intestine, okay, into basic or alkaline one. The stomach contains gastric juice and HCl. HCl makes the stomach acidic one. One question here, say children, the stomach is lined with a mucous membrane. The stomach is lined with a mucous membrane. Okay, why this mucous membrane is present means, one, to make the food soft, the other, HCl will be released now. Okay, in order to protect the action of HCl, mucous membrane will be there. So HCl is an acid. So imagine if we touch the acid, okay, it will burn our hand. But inside the stomach means definitely it creates burning sensation. To protect that, mucous membrane is there, right? So fats are digested by converting them into small globules. Now let us go see, we have seen the digestion of carbohydrate, digestion of proteins. Now it is the digestion of fats. Where these fats are digested? These fats are digested with the help of a juice called as bile juice released from liver. The fats are converted into small globules. The fats are converted into small globules. This process is called emulsification. What is this process, children? Emulsification. You should remember this. One is pyloric sphincter, emulsification. See the terms, bolus, chyme, okay, peristaltic movements. All these are very, very important terms. Next one, pancreatic juice. So by a function of bile juice is, the bile juice converts the fats into small globules, sir. That means digestion of fats takes place here. That process is called emulsification. Then what about the pancreas, which is a leaf-like structure? So pancreas also contains an enzymes. They also carry on the process of digestion of proteins. Okay. So here the pancreatic juice secreted from the pancreas contain enzymes like trypsin. Okay, like trypsin, which helps in the digestion of proteins, and lipase, which helps in the digestion of fats. So trypsin, which helps in the digestion of proteins. Next one is lipase. Which helps in the digestion of fats. Amylase, salivary amylase, saliva, tyalin, carbohydrates. Pepsin in the stomach, proteins. Trypsin, proteins. Lipase, fats. Anyway, we will learn in the next page, the enzyme chart is there. We will learn in detail. Okay, right. So next one, let's go for the small intestine. The walls of the small intestine. So we have seen the pancreas release a juice called as pancreatic juice, contains the enzymes, trypsin which digests the proteins, lipase which digests the fats. And bile has no enzymes, but bile helps in the emulsification of fats. What is emulsification? Conversion of fats into small globules. Yes or no? Right. Next one is this one. Wall of the small intestine secretes intestinal juice. See children, how many juices? From mouth, saliva. In the stomach, gastric juice. two juices. Third one is, what is the third one? Stomach. Third one is liver, bile juice. Pancreatic juice, fourth one. Now it is intestinal juice. So walls of the intestinal juice, okay, which carry the further process, that is small molecules of protein down into the further small. Actually we have seen trypsin, yes or no? Pepsin converts the proteins into the small molecule. Still those small molecules are further converted into even small with the help of a juice called as intestinal juice released from the walls of small intestine. The same is the condition with the help of carbohydrate digestion started in the mouth and did not occur in the stomach, resumes now as the medium. So the carbohydrate digestion is there only in the mouth, and in the stomach only protein digestion is there. Resumes, okay, now as the medium gradually changes into an alkaline one, and the enzymes becomes active for carbohydrate breakdown. So once again here the carbohydrate breakdown takes place in the intestine. Okay, right here say even the pancreatic juice also releases an enzyme which is called as amylase, lipase, trypsin, chymotrypsin. Right. So about these enzymes in detail we will learn in the next page, that is enzyme chart. Simply I will tell once again. First one, food enter into the mouth. We will convert into slurry mass which is called bolus with the help of teeth, with the help of tongue and with the help of saliva. That's it. And from the mouth it enters into pharynx, and pharynx it enters into esophagus. Esophagus also no digestion, simply wave-like movements pushes the food into stomach. And here in the stomach gastric juice and HCl is there. HCl makes the medium acidic and gastric juice contains an enzyme which breaks down the proteins. That's it. Now the food enters slowly into the next part, intestine, which is the first part, duodenum. Only small quantities of food should be entered, not total. So there should be some control, that control is called pyloric sphincter. And into the duodenum the bile juice will come and the pancreatic juice will come. Bile juice comes from the liver, helps in the digestion of fats. It converts the fats into globules which is called emulsification. Pancreatic juice contains the enzymes which helps in the digestion of both carbohydrates and proteins, even fats also, lipase also will come. And the walls of the small intestine, just now we told, okay, which releases an enzyme, intestinal juice, it further breaks the proteins into the small ones. Again the digestion of the digestion of carbohydrates resumed in the next part. Actually we have seen the digestion of carbohydrate in the mouth. There is no digestion of carbohydrate in the stomach, and the next part is the intestine. Again it is resumed back. Okay, so this is about the digestive system. Now let's go for the digestive enzymes. Okay. Children, now here we have a chart of digestive enzymes. Serial number 1, enzyme or substance secreted into which digestive juice, acts on, and the products. Now first one is ptyalin. As we know that ptyalin is also called as salivary amylase, secreted by salivary glands. Secreted means released by salivary glands. So we know that 3 pairs of salivary glands are there in the mouth. Yes or no? These salivary glands release or secrete an enzyme called as ptyalin. The other name for ptyalin is salivary amylase. Then secreted into buccal cavity. Buccal cavity. What do you mean by buccal cavity? Oral cavity, children. Oral cavity. The mouth cavity is called buccal cavity. And digestive juice. What is the digestive juice here? Saliva. The digestive juice is saliva. And this acts on carbohydrates. The saliva acts on carbohydrates. Acts on carbohydrates. Okay, the saliva acts on carbohydrates. And what is the product that will come? Maltose. The product is maltose. So once again I repeat. The first one is ptyalin or salivary amylase, secreted by salivary gland, secreted into buccal cavity. The juice is saliva and acts on carbohydrates. The product is maltose. And second one is pepsin. What is the second one, children? Pepsin. Okay, so this pepsin is secreted by gastric glands. What is that gland? Gastric gland. So the above one is salivary gland, now it is gastric gland. Gastric gland. Secreted by gastric gland, secreted into stomach. Secreted into stomach. Here, first one is buccal cavity, second one is stomach, and what is the juice? Gastric juice. What is the juice? Gastric juice. And this acts on proteins. Acts on proteins. Acts on proteins, and product is peptones. Product is peptones. So see the second one. Pepsin is the enzyme secreted by gastric glands, secreted into stomach. The juice is gastric juice, and this acts on proteins, converts to peptins. That is the product, peptones. Third one is bile. Third one is bile. So bile is the juice released from liver. Bile has no enzymes, children. Bile has no enzymes. Bile has no enzymes. Secreted by liver. Liver is a very, very important gland in our body. Okay, secreted by liver and secreted into duodenum, which is the proximal part of small intestine. Secreted into duodenum, and the juice is, yes, bile juice. The juice is bile juice. What is the juice, children? Bile juice. And it acts on fats. It acts on fats. Okay, then the fats, when it acts on fats, large fat molecules are converted into small globules, which is called as emulsification. Which is called as emulsification. What is emulsification? I already told. Large fat molecules are converted into the small globules. And next, fourth one is once again amylase. That is salivary amylase. This is one more amylase. One more amylase. Okay. This is secreted by pancreas. This is secreted by pancreas, the leaf-like gland. Okay. That is called pancreas, and secreted into, once again, duodenum. Secreted into duodenum, and juice is pancreatic juice. What is the juice, children? Pancreatic juice. The juice is pancreatic juice. And here once again carbohydrates only. It acts on carbohydrates only, like the first one. And the product is maltose. Product is maltose, like the first one. Same, the enzyme, same enzyme only, but there salivary, here in the pancreas. Let's go for the fifth one. Once again, trypsin. Amylase, next one is trypsin. So this is trypsin. Once again released by pancreas only. Released by pancreas only, and released into or secreted into duodenum only. What is duodenum? Part of small intestine, proximal part. And here the same pancreatic juice. Same pancreatic juice. But here, as it is trypsin, here acts on proteins. Acts on proteins, children. Acts on proteins. And what are the products that are formed? Peptones. Peptones. If you will clearly observe, the first one and the fourth one same, and the second one and the fifth one same, but the enzymes are different, and where they are releasing from is different. The action is same and the products are same. Okay. The first one, salivary amylase from the mouth, and trypsin in the pancreas. That's it. That is the difference. The juice and secreted into, these are common, but this is different. Okay. Here it is secreted into buccal cavity. Here it is secreted into duodenum. Here it is secreted into stomach. It is secreted into duodenum. Here gastric glands, here pancreas. Here are salivary glands, here pancreas. Okay. The action is same. Action and products are same. Action and products are same. the enzyme's names somewhat differs, but the action and products are same. So once again I repeat these 5. Ptyalin released by or secreted by salivary glands into buccal cavity or mouth cavity, juice is saliva and acts on carbohydrates, the product is maltose. Second one, pepsin released by gastric glands, secreted into stomach, the juice is gastric juice and acts on proteins, the product is peptones. Third one is bile, it has no enzymes, released by liver, released into or secreted into duodenum, juice is bile juice, fats converts into small globules which is called as emulsification. Fourth one is amylase, released by pancreas, released into duodenum and juice is pancreatic juice. So amylase acts on carbohydrates, converts into maltose. Trypsin is the fifth one and released or secreted by pancreas, secreted into duodenum and the juice is pancreatic juice, acts on proteins, converts to peptones. Okay. Right. So far we have learned 5 enzymes. We have 3 more enzymes, children. Now let's go for the 6th one. What is the enzyme? Lipase. So enzyme is lipase. The name itself indicates that it converts lipids. Okay. So lipase secreted by once again pancreas. Okay. Released into duodenum. Released into duodenum and the juice is pancreatic juice. Okay, acts on fats, fatty acids and glycerol are the products. So acts on fats, so this is fatty acids and glycerol. Fatty acids and glycerol are the products. So lipase, okay, this is released or secreted by pancreas, secreted into duodenum, the juice is pancreatic juice, acts on fats and the products are fatty acids and glycerol. Right. So next one is the 7th one. Okay. So that is peptidases. 7th one is peptidases. 7th one is peptidases. Let's see, children. Peptidases and secreted by intestinal glands. Secreted by intestinal glands. Secreted by intestinal glands. Secreted into small intestine. Secreted into small intestine. And the juice is intestinal juice. Juice is intestinal juice. Okay, the juice is intestinal juice and acts on peptides. Acts on peptides. Acts on peptides and converts into amino acids. Converts into amino acids. And 8th one is sucrase. 8th one is sucrase and secreted by intestinal glands. Secreted by intestinal glands, secreted into small intestine. And same, the juice is intestinal juice. Juice is intestinal juice and here acts on sucrose. Acts on sucrose. It acts on sucrose and the product is glucose. Sucrose is called cane sugar, children. Sugar cane we have now. That is the thing. So once again I see here sucrase. ACE is the enzyme ACE. So secreted by intestinal gland, secreted into small intestine, and the digestive juice is intestinal juice, acts on sucrose, and the product is glucose. So this is the enzyme table, and we have questions also down the table. Name the enzymes which acts on carbohydrates. So what is the answer, children? So you can see the carbohydrates and carbohydrates. So this is the first line and the fourth line. So simply salivary amylase and amylase is the answer. Which juice contains no enzymes? Yes, there is clearly the third one, bile has no enzymes. Okay. And next one, what are the end products of fats? So you can go for the third one, last two columns. Okay. Or the sixth one, last two columns, fats are the end products of fatty acids and glycerol. What are the enzymes that acts on proteins? So if you can see the proteins and proteins. So acts on proteins is the second one, pepsin and trypsin, fifth one, pepsin and trypsin. Okay. So these are the answers for these questions. Now let's see, okay, the digestion in small intestine and large intestine, how the food is absorbed and how the food is defecated. Okay. Children, now let's see the two things. One is absorption and second one is defecation. Actually, there are 4 steps in the digestion process. One is ingestion. What is ingestion for children? Intake of food. Intake of food is called ingestion. Okay, so intake of food is called ingestion. Next one is digestion. This is first step. We have seen the digestion also. This is second step. Digestion is breakdown of complex molecules into simple ones. So breakdown of complex into simple ones is called digestion. Now see the absorption. Third one is absorption. And fourth one is defecation. See children, you know that the food from the mouth enters into the esophagus, and from the esophagus food goes into the stomach, and from the stomach it goes into the small intestine. So here transport of products of digestion from the intestine into blood, from intestine into blood. So from intestine to blood. So we have seen the digestion in the stomach and digestion in intestine. The products which are formed in the intestine, they should be transported to the blood. So this is called as absorption. Transport of the products of digestion from intestine into blood through the wall of the intestine is called absorption. Internally, intestine wall has number of finger-like projections. So these finger-like projections, see children. So these are the finger-like projections. Okay, so these are called as villi or microvilli. These are called as villi or microvilli, the finger-like projection. So internally, the intestine has number of microvilli. What this microvilli will do? Yes, here the microvilli, okay, increase the surface area for absorption. They increase the surface area for absorption. Absorption means taking. So blood vessels and lymph vessels both are present in the form of a network in the villi. So what are present here? Blood vessels and lymph vessels. Blood vessels and lymph vessels. Both are present. So what is this lymph vessel? Lymph is a part of our transport system. Understand? So it is a parallel to the lymphatic system is a parallel to the venous system. And you know the blood vessels, arteries, veins, capillaries, all these things. So these are present in the villi. So once again I tell, the food, the products of the food that are formed in the intestine, they should go to the blood. Why they should go to the blood? Blood is the only fluid that is circulated throughout the body. Okay, so that is why in order to give the required products to required parts, okay, here the blood is required. So here the products from the intestine goes to the blood, okay. This is called absorption. And how this absorption will take place with the intestine wall has numerous or number of microvilli or villi. They increase the surface area of absorption. The water present here, blood vessels or lymph vessels. Okay, products of digestion. The products of digestion are absorbed first into the villi. So who will take? This villi will take. This villi will take the products of absorption. Okay, and from here the blood vessels and the lymph vessels. Okay, right. So thus after maximum absorption of food in the small intestine. So maximum the food will be absorbed in the small intestine only through the villas, blood vessels and lymph vessels. Then rest of the food means the waste food sent to the large intestine. There also in the large intestine, the water will be reabsorbed by the large intestine and the rest of the waste material, okay, which is sent through anus. This process is called defecation. So defecation is nothing but expulsion of waste. So expulsion of waste is called defecation. So 4 steps in the digestion: ingestion, intake of food; digestion, breakdown of complex into the simple ones; absorption, taking the required or useful products into the blood, which takes place through the villi; and defecation, expulsion of the waste. So here most of the water present is taken up by the material. The material is expelled through the anus, which is called as defecation. Food that passes out the body still contains, okay. So food that passes out of the body contains the waste material. Now let us see what is that, okay. Children, we have seen the absorption and defecation, okay. So defecation is nothing but expulsion of waste. So food that passes out through the anus still contains considerable amount of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, roughages, okay, and fibers of either carbohydrates or proteins. So what is present in that waste material? Still it contains carbohydrates, proteins, fats, roughages, okay, or fibers of either carbohydrates or proteins. We will learn still there is some, we will learn more in detail in chapter number, okay, 7. Now let us see the flow chart of digestive system. So this is also important, children. This will be asked for 2 marks or 1 mark in your final exam. Flow chart of digestive system. Flow chart. So first food, I am writing food here. Next mouth, this is mouth. After that buccal cavity is the oral cavity. Buccal cavity. Next one is pharynx. What is this, children? Pharynx. And after that esophagus. So there is no digestion in the esophagus, simply movement. And next one is, so after that esophagus, what is that part? Stomach. Okay. So food, mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus. Next one is stomach. Okay. So next one is stomach, and from stomach it goes, the food goes into where, children? Yes, small intestine. Food goes into small intestine. From small intestine it goes to large intestine, the waste material. Okay. From it goes to the large intestine. From large intestine it goes to rectum. It goes to rectum, and from rectum to next anus is the part where the expelled food will goes out. Okay. So next one is if you can observe, small intestine, two pipes, I mean into the duodenum, two pipes will come. One is bile duct, other one is pancreatic duct, or bile juice or pancreatic juice. So I am writing liver, okay, liver and pancreas are connected to this one only. Liver and pancreas are connected to this one. So you can write simply the boxes also here. See children, this is the flow chart of digestive system. Food, mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine. To the small intestine, liver and pancreas are also connected, and from small intestine the waste food goes to large intestine, and here reabsorption of water takes place and the waste material comes out through rectum and anus. Here in the exam, what they will do, they will skip the boxes in the middle and they will ask you to write. Okay, that is the reason you have to, okay, you have to by heart this, or you have to remember this in a sequential manner. Okay.